hello there and welcome back to this F1 2019 Alfa Romeo career mode. We're at round 6 at the Monaco Grand Prix. Just to give you a bit of advance warning, this may be possibly the worst couple of episodes you're about to witness. I have never gone well at Monaco. I think looking back at all the career modes I've done on 16, 17 and 18 nodes, I've uploaded those I haven't uploaded. I think I've done Monaco maybe 7 times, and I can tell you that I've only ever finished it once. So yeah, this is not going to be good for the future. If we somehow manage to get to the end, of course, after a 50% race distance with simulation damage, and we somehow finish this race, I will be absolutely amazed. I don't think we're going to be that competitive here. I absolutely detest street circuits, and Monaco is by far the worst one on the calendar for me. But here we are then, at the beginning of the weekend. We've got a few messages to look at. Morning everyone, I've attached a preview for this weekend's Grand Prix. If you have any questions, come see me in the data centre from Carl. You can see it on the right hand side, obviously the hard, medium, soft tyres again. 8th in the Drivers' Championship, 5th in the Constructors. The weather forecast, nice and sunny in qualifying, sunny with a bit of cloud in race. To be honest, I wouldn't have minded the race being in full-wet conditions, because obviously the previous episode at Spain, you can see how well we run in the wet there compared to the AI as well. So I'm quite confident that if we ever get some more wet sessions in the future, we will be at the front of the grid. As for the development upgrade then, obviously more teams doing upgrades. We'll have a look at a minute at a bigger picture to see what's going on. Obviously nothing coming from us. So the driver profiling, obviously we're now onto a new contract. This is the second race with a new contract. Complete one clean race. We've already done that, so no matter what happens after Monaco, even if we crash and burn at the first corner, we will gain an extra 400 resource points for our team goal. There's all the other contract perks as well, and our value is almost is higher than our contract value after our fantastic performance at Spain in the last episode. As for research and development, and obviously we've got 2 on the go at the moment. We should be here going into the next event at Canada. We've got 2 major upgrades for the aerodynamic department, the front downforce and the rear downforce, front wing cascades and the rear wing main plane. As for progress history, well, Ferrari have had another minor upgrade, so they're now very level again with Mercedes. Nothing from Red Bull. Renault again are improving, and Williams have had another minor upgrade as well. So we're still sitting just ahead of Toro Rosso. There's a little bit of a gap there between ourselves and McLaren, but hopefully we can bridge that gap in the next couple of episodes. As for vehicle management then, so we're now starting to push for life of some of these units a bit too high. The ICE is now up to 57%. Same for the MGUH as well. 60% now for the turbocharger. As for the gearbox, 62% coming into the final race weekend, where we have to run this gearbox before we take a penalty. Depending on how the practice sessions go, if we do find ourselves plumb last by a long way off the pace, I may very well just bite the bullet and order some brand new parts, get them all in there, which hopefully should cover us before the end of the season. We'll do the same with the gearbox as well. Take a stonkingly massive penalty, about 50-60 grid place penalty, because if we're going to be starting and qualifying last, that's the best opportunity to get all new units onto the car as well, to protect ourselves in the following races as well. So that is then the intro to this episode. I'll now go away, obviously do FP1 and FP2 off camera. Hopefully I've got some good news to report once I've done those 2 sessions. But yeah, like I said, it's Monaco. It's all about just trying to survive. So then, welcome back. This episode is going to be a bit different in the end. Usually the way I've been doing it so far this season is we have got 2 episodes each race weekend. The first one's an introduction to the weekend, and then you'll see footage of FP3 and qualifying, and then the second episode will be an extended race package. For 2 reasons, it's all going to be compiled into 1 episode. So I've already done the 3 practice sessions, and now you're going to get qualifying and the race in the same episode. The first one is I'm probably going to be expected to be trundling around at the back in both qualifying and the race, although we do have a little bit of pace if we can nail a good lap. But I think more often than not, I'm not going to have good laps, and I'm going to be trundling around near the back. And secondly as well, I don't think I'm going to get to the end of the race. I think I'm going to crash out at some point. We'll try my very best, of course, to try to get to the end of the race, because I really don't want to crash out, even if we are plumb last by lap 10, 3 laps down. But I don't think that this is going to be the most exciting race I have ever done or will ever do. So I think the best thing to do is just compile it into 1 long episode, rather than show you random bits of footage from 2 episodes and waste your time and my time editing as well. So we'll just do 1 long episode. So the free practice sessions have been and gone. Do your best out there today. We really want to secure a good spot on the grid. Complete one clean race for our easy resource points target. We've already done that in the last race, so that's fine. We don't have to worry about that. The weather forecast, nice and sunny in qualifying. And again, at the start of the race with a little bit of cloud coming in towards the end. And there's some information there about the Monaco circuit. As for the pre-practice sessions, I was spending my time pinballing off the wall every now and again. But we did complete most of our practice programs with a good score. I think we ended up with 280 resource points out of 325, so we haven't done too bad. You can see there on the top right we're nearly at 1400 resource points. As for pace, different tyres were used in different sessions, so it's difficult to get a gauge. FP2 was in full wet conditions. We finished in the top 5, I think, in that as well. The AI don't seem to be as strong on this game as I am in wet conditions, which is a shame, so I wouldn't mind qualifying in a race being in the wet, because if we could keep it clean, we'd be quite quick. FP1 and FP3, yeah, we were sort of languishing down, sort of 16th, 17th, something like that, if we can nail a good lap, but like I said, more often than not, we're not nailing the good laps. So I think this is a good opportunity then to come over to the vehicle management screen. You can see there are a lot of our units now starting to struggle. 60% on the IC, 62 for the MGH, 64 for the turbocharger. Everything else is in the 40s. So we're going to be ordering some new parts. This will give us a grid drop penalty. We will still, of course, do qualifying, just see how our pace is over one lap. But we are going to order some brand new parts across the board. Same for the gearbox as well. This is the 6th and final weekend, but it is already at 63%. Practice gearbox is fine, so we'll order a new gearbox as well. So we are going to be taking a massive grid drop penalty, something like 50 positions. Oh, excuse me, there's my hay fever kicks in. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be about a 50 or 60 grid drop penalty. I'm not too bothered by that. The progress history, of course, I touched on that at the beginning of the episode as well. Hopefully we'll have some the major developments coming in the next episode in Canada. Not much else to look at then, so we'll go to qualifying and see if we can survive the session.
We're here at the magical Circuit de Monaco for one of the most challenging qualifying sessions on the Formula One calendar. Who can add their name to the illustrious list of Monte Carlo pole sitters here today? This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
So then I'm disappointed, of course, that we haven't got wet running, because it would be quite nice. You can see above the track and air temperature. Quite nice for this time of year at Monaco. So the tyres, yeah, obviously we'll be running on these soft tyres. Of course, it doesn't matter where we qualify. We've got a shockingly huge grid penalty. We will be starting last. This is a car setup. It's sort of bodged, to be completely honest. I don't feel comfortable in it, but it seems to be okay. So 10-11 on the wings, transmission 70-70 on the diff, suspension geometry 2 clicks to the right on the camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toe. That's probably completely wrong. Suspension 885756, brakes 90-58, tyres 2 clicks to the right for the fronts, 2 clicks to the left on, well, actually just 1 click on the left. We'll go 2 and to give me some more rearward grip. Yeah, so that's the setup then. It's probably completely wrong for Monaco. Don't be surprised. So don't look at this and think that's quite a nice setup. It almost certainly isn't. So we're back out of this then.
Cars out on track. We should consider getting out there.
And that's exactly what we'll do then. And we'll drive out of the garage. Yeah, I've never gone well at Monaco. I've never. Yeah, we've got a 65 place grid penalty. 65! Wow! So we've got Toro Rosso behind us. So 65 played grid penalty then. We'll be starting around about where Tabac is. Takes you back to the days of McLaren a few years ago when they'd have to change everything every race. You know, something like an 80 place grid penalty. So yeah, 65 plays grid penalty. Yeah, we're definitely not starting anywhere other than 20th. This is the outlaw. I mean, I can make a little bit of time up here through the hairpin if I gauge it right as well. And I seem to be quite quick for these two corners here. Now through the tunnel. And now down to the tricky harbour chicane. And now to back. And now the swimming pool section. Left, right, down a couple of gears, right, left, over the curb. And now Larascas with the bar on the inside of the barrier. And then the final corner, not many people know the name of this, somehow I do. Anthony Nogues over the DRS, and here we go then. This is potentially our first and only flying lap. There is him, 7th place for now, 2.1 seconds off of Gasly. Not too sure how it is competitive compared to everyone else. I'm sure it's pretty much last. So we'll have a slow tour back to the pits and see where we stack up against everyone else. It was a scrappy lap. It wasn't that clean, to be honest. We kept it clean off the barriers, but it wasn't a clean lap overall. So just under 5 minutes left of the session. We're plumb last, 7/10 off of George Russell. Vettel's also struggling down in 18th place. You can just see on the sector times there, compared to George Russell at least, that 7/10 is all in Sector 1. Sector 2 and Sector 3, but not that bad actually. Slow, but you know, we're competitive with the back markers. But like I said here, we are not competitive at Monaco. Never have been. I don't know whether it's because I'm on a pad or because the AI are just a bit... have been buffed a bit for Monaco. I'm not too sure what.
Time somewhere.
Yeah, we're losing time everywhere, mate. So I'll go out again now whilst the track is a little bit clear. I've already changed onto another set of tyres as well. Might as well drain the fuel out. We can't take any more. That's all we got. Yep. So there we go then. So I'll come back out then, and then we'll go for one more lap here at Monaco just to see if we can improve our own lap time. So there's not many cars out on track, so I'm not going to be slowing people up or anything like that. Out of Anthony Nogues, open to DRS. Let's see if we can get into the 1 minute 14s. P12. What a nice lap that was as well. I was hanging my arse on a ragged edge, don't get me wrong. Probably could have crashed it pretty much every corner. But that was nice. That ends our qualifying then anyway. We could go again, but I haven't got enough ERS to improve. And probably taking a lot of life out of the tyres. So that's a nice surprise then. P12. We might drop down a few positions. So we'll have a slow tour back to the pits. And see what the standings are at the end of the qualifying session. So we ended the session in 13th place, but as you can see there in a second or two, we have a 65 place grid drop penalty. That's just hilarious, makes me laugh every time I say it. So Leclerc's taken pole. It's home event with Verstappen, Hamilton, Vettel and Bottas in the top 5, and it's Ricciardo, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Perez. Gasly's had a shocker all the way down in 10th. Devon Butler in 11th. I think that's his best qualifying of the season. Then we've got Lando Norris, ourselves in 13th, but remember we'll be 20th, so all these guys behind us will move up a position. Albon, Sainz, Raikkonen, Webber, Stroll, Grosjean and George Russell. So we'll be starting this race from 20th place, but if we can nail a good lap there, we've got some decent midfield pace. Now we've got to survive for close to 80 laps here at Monaco, close to 40 laps here at Monaco.
Are you happy with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow? Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying? How's your grid penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race? Appreciate your time.
So the rivalry breakdown there against Russell and Raikkonen. Qualifying position, yeah, we did out-qualify both of them, so that's fine. Obviously the grid penalties pushes behind them, but we're now 24 to 22 against Raikkonen and 18 to 12 against Russell. I'm expecting a poor race at Monaco, so we might lose that advantage over Raikkonen. It is quite crucial that we try to win that, because we are now quite close to the end of that. So the qualifying resource points, not bad all things considered. 1,488. And the reputation, it's gone down a little bit of Alfa Romeo. One of the questions there decreased my value to the team, but I'm sure that we'll get that up again in the next few races. And as well, back down to the rookie bit. I don't know why that's happened. But the sportsmanship has gone up a little bit as well, which is always good.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
Well, I can assure you that one else that there's a 65 place grid drop penalty. So we've got one message and alright, we've prepared as best as we can, but the rest is up to you. Go out there and do what you do best. Now, can we change units again? Just go to the old ones. We can change to the old units, which we might as well do. Like I said, it's Monaco, it's not going to be great for us. So we'll bolt on all the old units again. Won't change gearbox, pointless. Yeah, so okay, so we'll start with the old units. Hopefully they do swap over now before the race, and so we've got like basically 2 or 3 brand new fresh units to use on each of these, which should, I think, get us to the end of the season. We might need a massive order again before the end of the season, just to make sure that we don't run used parts in the last few races, because other teams will be doing the same as well. Nothing else to look at then, so we'll go to the race and see if we can survive.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. They've had to retire a couple of times in the last few races, what can you tell us about the reliability of their car?
It's a good statistic for sure, as it demonstrates not only mechanical reliability, but consistency from both drivers as well. These are two of the first boxes you have to tick for any successful season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo and Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Perez, Gasly and Devon Butler, Norris, Verstappen, Alexander Albon and Sainz, Raikkonen, Stroll, Romain Grosjean and George Russell, Weber and Lee. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So that is the grid formation. A few penalties. I think Verstappen's had one, Weber as well. And of course our massive penalty means we are starting in 20th place. Two-stop strategy then, the team are saying that we can do. Mediums onto softs. Yeah, we'll run with that. Drain the fuel out, just 2 laps extra. Not much else we can really do. We'll just run with it anyway. We'll probably be in the pits a few times as well, fixing damage at some point. So we'll try to make this strategy work then. And now we'll get on with the formation lap around Monaco. Will be the slowest formation lap we'll do this season. So both for Williams back in 18th and 19th. Talking of Williams, this is the first time I've seen him pretty much at the back of the field. Day 1 patch was obviously released when the game came out. We're on version 1.03. 1.04 is now sort of pending. It's already been released on PC as a sort of development and will be coming to console hopefully in the next few days. It's literally just graphic fixes at the moment. A lot of people in the community are already sort of crying out saying, look, the AI need to be adjusted a little bit. They're not as quick as they should be in the wet. And also the Williams performance is way too OP. We've already seen Weber pick up points this season, I think, at Bahrain already. And if you look at real life Williams, they are hopelessly slow and massively off the pace. They're qualifying and racing at the back every single race. And more often than not in this career mode, we're seeing them fight in the midfield. So a lot of people are saying that a performance patch should be out pretty much sooner rather than later, rather than just a few graphic tweaks. So hopefully Codemasters will get something sorted out soon, because obviously we need this career mode to be as realistic as possible. Granted, we've done well this season already. We're up to, I think, 22 points, and we're only at Monaco. Realistically, we probably should only have a couple of points if you look at Alfa Romeo's general pace over this season. But I'm not going to complain, but hopefully a few patches will come out soon to really change the way the AI performs and behaves in career mode. So that's that. Now about the race, it's a case of just trying to keep it clean if we can. There's not much we can really do. I'm going to take it very easy on the first couple of laps. I don't really want to be getting up and fighting my way up into 15th and 16th place, only to end up putting it in the wall under pressure from the AI behind. So it's going to be a long race here, almost 40 laps, and it'd be nice to finish. I'm not too confident about it, but it would still be nice to finish this race. So here we are then on the grid, last car in position. I think it's the first time we've qualified in last. 5 lights coming on now, and Monaco is go. What are the AI going to do into turn 1? Seems relatively clean so far. There's still 2x2 going up the hill, which is dangerous. Oh my god! Mini heart attack there. Something happened to Albon. He's carried on though. I am not going up the inside here. And there's yellow flags out as well for something, so someone's tagged someone.
Well done, mate. Nice start.
Albon absolutely terrified me there. He just stopped on the track. First lap 1 completed, only 38 to go. So into lap 4 now. Williams guys clearly off the pace. They're dropping back probably a second a lap from the rest of the midfield, but we're sticking with them, although Jeff is constantly telling me that this engine component is showing all signs of wear. That engine component is on its last legs as the back end steps out whilst I'm chatting. Mass concentration levels needed, but we're keeping it clean so far. That's probably the first little hiccup I've had.
To keep this momentum.
It's really difficult to try and overtake against the AI. We know how aggressive they are, and we're at Monaco as well, which just adds to that difficulty factor. Oh, slide McGee. So into lap 8, pit stops are now happening for some of the guys that started on the soft tyres. So we're slowly moving up the order now to 16th. Pace is okay. I mean, well, we're keeping pace with the Williams guys, and Albon hasn't really threatened us yet behind us. Still a long way to go. And just there, you notice every lap that the AI and ourselves just move over to the middle of a track halfway down the hill. That's not to defend or anything like that. There's a nasty bump on the left hand side there. It's been there for years, and it's in real life as well. And if you watch any Monaco Grand Prix at that point, you see all the cars going over to the middle as well, because if you go over that bump, it really unsettles the car, and you've got the braking zone there as well. So that's why we're moving over. Stay away from that bump. Might have a run here on Weber, but he's ERSing as well. Oh gosh, it's going to get dicey. We've got cars coming out the pits. It's a traffic jam. Absolute train of cars at the moment. Most of these have pitted and come out with this little sort of battle I've got with the Williams cars and Albon as well. We've got Hamilton ahead, Bottas is behind me, and if you look back, there's loads of... my god, half the field is here. It's all getting very exciting. But we're keeping it nice and clean here. I'm surprised by this. Now I've said that, we'll be in the water at the end of this lap. So we've got Bottas behind me trying to get past. The Williams cars ahead as well. Albon is somewhere in this. We're in 12th at the moment. And now already starting to think strategy here. I'm wondering, at some point I'll check the wear on these medium tyres. And if it doesn't look too bad, I might go medium hards. Oh, I need these Mercedes to see. This is the problem we've got now. Running used components means I'm slow in a straight line, and a couple of times I've had possibly the opportunity to get past Weber or maybe try a move, but as soon as we come out of a low traction zone and start pulling away, he's just disappearing. That Mercedes engine in the back of his car is going to help him as well with that. I'm now starting to think different strategy options here. So into lap 16 then, the team are begging me to come in. The tyres are starting to let go a little bit, but I'm probably going to push these, I don't know, maybe end of lap 17 and then go onto the hard tyres, if we can. Meanwhile, Hamilton's managed to get past Russell, so he's now free to disappear. And we are now starting to struggle in these medium tyres.
Some information on Gasly.
Gasly's retired. And my teammate has just come out the pits ahead of me on the one-stop strategy, I feel like. Oh, Bottas just tagged me there. And if you look at that, Raikkonen is actually ahead of, you know, Bottas and a few others as well. So we've kind of held up some of these drivers for him.
Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
So we're coming in now. I've selected the hard tyres. Gasly's car is still out there on the side of the circuit. I see a little window we can drop back into, and if we can nail a few of his outlaps, we've got an opportunity here to jump ahead of both the Williams cars. Lap 17 of 39. Feeling comfortable. The tyres were starting to let go a little bit towards the end there. Now the next few laps are quite crucial for us. So there's a few cars in the pits here. We might get the jump on them as well. Keep moving up the order. We do. I'm losing time to Albon ahead, as we've just set our personal best of a 16.817. But he's on the medium tyres and he's quicker than us anyway. It's all about catching these Williams cars so when they pit. And also if we manage to get ahead of a pair of them and a few others as well, we might be on for a somewhat competitive result.
Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
I do have a bit of front wing damage, apparently. I'm not going to check because it would just demoralise me. I don't want to know. So Williams in the pits, it's Webber. And he's coming back out, which is crucial. He's going to be on the right hand side. We've passed Webber. So we've undercut Webber. And now I assume this lap Russell will pit. And we should be able to undercut him as well.
Battery charge.
So Russell's in the pits now. He's coming back out. We're easily going to jump ahead of Russell here. So it's P14 we're up to now, which isn't too bad. Don't know if anyone else still needs to stop. I've got quite a few quick guys behind me. And so now for the last 17, 18 laps, it's all about just trying to keep it clean, defending our line.
Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
And unfortunately, I really wasn't paying attention to where I was positioning my car. Ricardo saw a gap and went for it. So that's disappointing. So there's a couple more cars in the pits again. Perez and Bottas. So we're out to 13th place here. I don't want to say a point is out of the question. There's a group of cars, a grouping, not so far up the road. If any of them need to pit, we'll definitely jump them. And getting quite a bit of understeer. I haven't looked to see how much damage there is in the car, but I can tell there's some damage. So lap 24, 39, 15 to go. What I want to do now is just try and keep it clean, not lose any positions if we can help it, and bring it home. It's a bit difficult with a train of cars behind me. Magnussen's gone for it up the inside. Oh, and he's tagged me as well. What a dick. I left you for space. So I'm getting blue flag warnings, but I can't really do anything about it because I've still got Verstappen behind me here. And there's Hulkenberg in the pits as well. So the other car will jump. And Leclerc pits as well, so I don't have to worry about being lapped now. So up to P12. And Verstappen is looking very feisty behind me. Verstappen up the inside. Whoa, locks up as well. So unfortunately we've lost P12. I've now got the Williams guys behind me. And we are now struggling. We're on the wrong tyre at this stage of the race. The front wing is damaged. My engine components are dying on me. I'm melting in this heat. But we've just got 12 laps to go. It's coming into lap 31 of 39. Sorry I haven't been speaking so much, and I probably won't either until the end of this race because I am concentrating like anything. We're still running okay in 13th. The front wing is taking another little knock somewhere because I can feel again the front downforce slowly going away. The tyres are going off as well, and the car is, to be honest, handling pretty dog shit. But the Williams behind isn't really threatening. The only time they are really is into the harbour chicane, and I've been smart with my ERS running low mix around most of the laps. We can push it going through the tunnel to stop him from attacking. Everywhere else on the circuit he's not really close enough. So again, it's just keep doing what we're doing with the ERS and keeping it clean between the barriers, and I can't see us losing his 13th place.
Albon is in the pits.
Well, what we can do though is gain another position. Albon's had to make another pit stop, so we are in 12th. And it's a shame now, because if we didn't lose those positions to Verstappen and Ricciardo, we'd be in 10th place at the moment. So surprised to see Albon in the pits this late. I'd like 2 more people to do so, please. I think I deserve a point. So into lap 33, Leclerc is up with us again.
Blue flag.
So he's going to get past Russell at some point, and then we've got to be smart and let him through and not lose a position. Raikkonen has just pitted as well and rejoined on the soft tyres in 11th. So maybe a couple of people still need to pit again. But I think at this point we are too far back really to challenge. Oh, we just clipped the inside wall there. Oh, now Leclerc's behind me. That's okay, cool. We're coming into a part of the circuit where I can sort of let him through.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
Right. If I stay over here. Yeah, smart. That's the best place to let him through, because Russell can't take advantage of that. So a lap down then, so that means we can have to complete 1 less lap, which is good, to be honest. But this car is visibly tired. So coming across the line, start lap 36, which in theory is lap 37, 3 to go because we're a lap down. The engine is now starting to make some very funny noises. I don't really want to check on the current state of our car, tyres, wing and all our units, because it will just maybe demoralise me and put me off. As for Russell and all that behind, they're not really challenging. I saved enough ERS now to push a little bit more than I need to. So it's just a case of just survive these last 3 laps and bring it home for what I think is a very creditable 12th place, as we dink the wall on the right hand side there. That's not good. Now we're going to struggle a bit more. So out of Anthony Noakes to start lap 38, which will be our final lap. I've purposely dropped my pace off now a couple of seconds and just absolutely sticking to the racing line, because of this damaged front wing. It's going to make our car behave a bit more erratically. It's just coming up the hill now. Just braking a little earlier, just making sure I get my lines right. At this point, you know, you can't do anything about 11th or anything like that, so it's all about defending this 12th place.
Energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment.
ERS is a bit low, but I'll have enough to protect myself down into the chicane. Just stick to the racing line. Out of here, blast up into high mix. Yeah, Russell isn't getting past into the chicane. Pick your spot. Don't hit the barrier on the inside. Clip the curb. Straighten the car up to back. Challenging corner. Another swimming pool complex. Oh, got that a little bit wrong. Yeah, right, left. Doesn't matter about fuel. Leclerc wins. Now into La Rascasse. And in the final corner, Anthony Noakes once again come out of it. Put it into high ERS. And it's going to be a 12th place at Monaco. We finished, baby. So you can see the results there. There's some surprising people finishing in there. That'd be a mix of being clear of the train that me and the Williams guys sort of had in the early part of the race when everyone made their pit stop and obviously lost time behind us. and a mix of the one-stop strategies as well. But we finished in 12th place, a lap down, yeah, whatever. And our fastest lap was a bit off the pace. Well, it was quicker than Devon Butler, actually, looking at that, and he was in 5th. But Leclerc wins with the fastest lap, absolutely dominated that event. Lando Norris from 11th on the grid finishes in 2nd place, ahead of Vettel in 3rd. And it's Hamilton, Butler, I think, with his first points of the season, and therefore Toro Rosso's as well. Sainz in 6th, so a good haul of points from McLaren. Stroll 7th, Ricciardo, Verstappen, and Grosjean picks up the final point. Raikkonen pitted late on, not too sure why. So he fell outside the points in 11th. We're 12th, a lap down, ahead of George Russell, Bottas, Perez, Weber, Albon, Hulkenberg and Magnussen. And Gasly retired, I think, around about the halfway stage. A bit of a scrappy race, but overall we kept it relatively clean. But towards the end there, the tyres were going, the front wing was damaged, and all of our engine units as well were really struggling to get the power down. But we managed to keep it clean in the last few laps and finish with what I think a very creditable 12th place. So we'll have a look at the standings. Leclerc now takes the lead of the championship ahead of Vettel, 108 to 104. Bottas down into 3rd place after not scoring. Verstappen, Hamilton in 5th place, still a long way back, and Gasly. We remain in 8th place, although Norris is now right behind us after his podium. Other movers, Butler with his first points of the season jumps all the way to 14th, which just leaves his teammate Albon as the only driver yet to score points. In the constructors, Ferrari have a 86 point lead over Mercedes, and Red Bull just a little bit way behind as well. McLaren obviously with a load of points move up into 5th place, and Racing Point I believe get past us as well after scoring a few points. So we've dropped down from 5th to 7th, but we've still got a nice gap over Haas, Toro Rosso and Williams behind.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Lucas flew through the pack in that race. What's his secret? Devon did much better in today's race than he did in qualifying. Were you expecting that? You were cutting your way through the field during the race. Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Appreciate your time.
So the if we break down for the race, this will be, I think, okay against Raikkonen and George Russell. Yeah, we lost 2 points to Raikkonen, but we gained 2 over Russell, so we're winning the rivalry against Russell fairly comfortably. We're now drawing with Raikkonen, so the next event at Canada is going to be absolutely crucial. We've got to outperform Raikkonen there if we're going to win that rivalry and gain a little bit more respect. The resource points for the race, I had 1 ETL exceeding track limit, so which is why the clean lap and discipline record is down a little bit, but the race position for qualifying is nice as well. The team goal comes in, the race bonus that we collect as well, so 733. It would have been 333 if it wasn't for our team goal bonus, which is a nice amount. Takes up to 2221 in the resource points, a nice healthy amount before we go into Canada. There is the team goal completed. Complete 1 clean race. We did that in the last event. So the reputation there, you would have seen a couple of interview questions there as well, which favoured our reputation of Alfa Romeo. It's gone up as well with a few other teams as well, which is quite nice to see at this stage of the season. We're almost at 100% with our own team, which is good. The respect level and the sportsmanship as well changing. Obviously, the more I can get attitude preference towards the sportsmanship side, the more it helps us with our value to the team, and obviously the higher our value to the team, the more we can push on for more and more additions to our contract. And that event is Monaco over and done with, and yeah, really happy to finish the race.
Your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
Yeah, maybe, but whatever. Hi Alex, good work hitting your targets, and an email from Emma about the invitational event. So Russell is attending the time attack in the 2010 Red Bull Racing RB6 at Brazil. We've also got an overtake challenge here in the 1991 McLaren MP4-6 at Belgium. I'm not too interested. I'll do these eventually to see what it's all about, but I'll be doing them off camera. I'm not particularly interested in doing them. I don't think you guys are either. So we'll have a look then at our contract. A couple more races races until we can fiddle about with this again, and you can see our value is now a little bit higher than our contract value, so that's good going forward. Research and development, I'm going to do nothing, of course, because we're still waiting for these 2 major upgrades to come in China, which in Canada, which will be the next episode. If they fail, we'll be able to automatically get them back on the car. If they do pass, we'll have probably by the end of the weekend well over 3,000 resource points, so we could probably either whack on with the durability department or get 2 more major upgrades done, both for the powertrain and the chassis, to really excel in the development program that we've got going on at the moment. So then the units, 65% on the ICE after that race, 52, 68 on the MGU-H, 43 energy store, turbochargers now at 70, the electronics is at 40. These will now be used, essentially what I'll do is probably save going into FP1 and FP2 for the next events, and obviously qualifying the race. We'll move on to units number 2 for everything, and we'll now use these probably for FP3, and I'll probably save what I feel will be the easiest practice program to do. It'll probably be something like the track acclimatization or the ERS management. They're the ones that are pretty easy to do. You don't need the best units on there to complete it, so I'll probably just save one of those practice programs for FP3 and obviously use these old units as well to save a bit of mileage. A practice gearbox 12%, that's fine. Race gearbox 10% after 1 weekend. Obviously we put a new one on after FP3, so that's good. And you can see we have a durability on that. Well, durability improvement of 55% out of 100, so I don't think we'll have any issues with the gearbox now before the end of the season. And obviously the standings there, 8th place down to 8th place, I think, 7th place for the team as well, so still very good as the season has gone on. Retirement at Australia, a 7th, and then a 5th at Bahrain and China. Disappointment at Azerbaijan was 17th, 7th in the mixed conditions at Spain, very good result, and a 12th place, again a very good result I felt, at Monaco. Yeah, we had a bit of a train behind us at the end, and if we'd let them all through we probably would have finished plumb last, but I don't care, and it's all about finishing and gaining those resource points. So that's Monaco over and done with them. A difficult weekend to start with, but it got better as it went on. I'm just happy that we managed to finish the race in a relatively good position with a relatively clean car. So thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you all for the next one very soon.